Messy.
Nothing's gonna pop your pussy like K-pop. I crumble under pressure.
I may have put bread in my ass, but I'm nobody's doughboy.
You may have left the pole, but your man's on mine.
My anxiety is evergreen, and my depression is anything but seasonal.
Hello. I didn't know we were starting that from the top. I was like,
so
oh,
proud
wow.
of me. Be so proud of me.
You really worked hard on that.
Guys, before I explain what that was, let me introduce our guest, Danny Pellegrino.
Hello.
From the hit podcast that I had the pleasure of being on once, Everything Iconic.
Right, and I feel right at home because I talk Housewives on my show quite a bit, and that opening just made me feel great.
That's why we did it.
Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. I also have to explain really quickly, like mine was about depression because I've been in a bit of a funk lately, but I'm not going to be in a funk now. But
Why have you been in a funk?
I had my appendix removed, and
That's right.
I kind of battled depression right off the bat. Here I am talking about my
Here we go.
depression.
You're welcome.
But
Danny.
I sort of battle anyway, and so I've been immobile. I'm just now starting to be able to move around a bit, but I had my appendix removed, and it's just been a mind.
When did you get it
It's been a
removed?
mind fucked. It was just over 2 weeks ago. So
oh, wow. And you're like here.
I'm here.
Wow.
You're right. If I'm
Congrats.
sitting funny or something, it's
I don't
because
know,
I'm like.
if I ever got surgery, I'll probably use it like an excuse to like not do anything for like 2 months.
I
I'll
did.
be in bed like, oh my gosh, guys. Oh, these stitches. I can't.
I literally like was in bed for 2 weeks straight, and I watched everything. Like I watched so much TV, and it's been great, but also depressed.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you're depressed, watching things is the best thing to possibly do.
Mhm.
That's how I fell into it. What are you currently watching?
What did I? Oh, this is really sad. I started watching 911 on Fox, like the Lone
What?
Star, which that's where I'm at now in my recovery. Like I've watched everything good,
The
and now
Ryan
I'm like,
Murphy show?
right.
Okay.
now I'm on to like a network procedural, which is not something I'd ever expected to watch. But yesterday after the Super Bowl, I was like watching this 911 Lone Star with Liv Tyler and Rob Lowe.
Wait,
It's not great, but I watched every episode.
what are you watching too? You're watching something new. You just
Next
watched,
in fashion.
yeah. Our friend
Do you
Mark
like
was on
that?
it.
It's good, but it's also weird. I have critiques, but I'm not like a fashion designer. I just find. Have you seen it?
It's the Netflix show, right?
Yeah, the
I haven't
Netflix
watched
show.
it yet.
Well,
no.
on the show, they split them in teams, and like I feel like that's weird. And also, it's like a weird, like unfair advantage because some of the people in the teams knew each other from like years.
What
and
is
some
this
people
hot
just, like,
voice? What is this hot
I'm
voice?
like, I know. I was just thinking, I'm like
Some
sweating.
people
I'm
so-
attracted.
I'm like, oh my God.
I'm sorry, guys.
Very Countess
my,
Luann.
My
Yeah.
throat is like gone. I don't know what happened. Just too much dick.
But wait, so is this like Project Runway? Is that what it is?
Kind of, but like weirder. I don't know. It's like a Netflix rendition of
They
it.
do some really interesting reality shows on Netflix. They're doing one with a dating show where the people don't see each other until
Oh,
they
yeah.
decide they want to get engaged or something like
Oh
that.
yeah,
They do
the,
some
like
strange
blind
things.
something. I forgot what it's called.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Blind Attraction?
No.
Have you heard of Naked Attraction?
Yes.
Have you heard of
I've
this?
heard of it. Yeah, yeah.
I fell into a hole. My friend showed it to me, and I'm like, "What? This exists? I want to be on it." Like that's a show I wish I was on.
What channel is that on?
It's a UK show. Yeah, and they show each other. You judge people's dicks.
You eliminate
That's
them.
basically.
Yeah, well, it could be
They
guys
need
or
to bring that
girls.
to the U.S.
They do.
That'll come to Netflix eventually. I bet.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Most
HBO
likely.
probably first because it's full
Coming out
nudity.
next week.
Like they show everything straight up.
They
and I'm
need
like, wow.
to adapt it.
Mhm.
It's shocking.
They should do a Housewives of Vanderpump Rules version of that. That's what I want to
Wait,
see.
speaking of adaptations, you were on my podcast talking about Lohan Rules. Was that
Lohan Rules.
or whatever?
That's what it should have been.
It should have been called that. Let's be honest.
Honestly.
That's what
Well,
they
'cause
marketed it as.
It had 3 fucking names. I love how Kayla, who was on the show, still calls it Lohan Beach House. And it was straight up called Lohan
Okay,
Beach
but that
Club.
was confusing because the signage we would see said like Lohan Beach Club, but then the show was Beach House, or it was vice versa.
Nothing made sense.
Nothing made
And
any
I'll tell you,
sense.
when we were talking about it, they still ask me questions. We still don't know. The
Unclear.
production team was out there in Greece, and they trashed the whole cast. So I wasn't on the original cast.
Okay.
The only people who was Janita and Jules. They recasted everyone else in a week because production was already out there. So they sent us out there. Then we got there and we're like, it's a show about work, but no one has a green card, so we can't actually work. So we're gonna call you.
Oh my God, what a fucking
what
mess.
do they? I don't know. They called us something, and then
Ambassadors.
ambassadors.
I hate that I remember that.
Well, I remember
Watched
I would
every
listen.
episode.
I would listen every every time you would talk about it, and it was just we have no idea what's going on. We didn't know
No.
like
I,
is this
like,
8
commit-
episodes or 12.
I committed to recapping it on my show, and then by the end, I was like, no one knows what's going on, and people, my listeners would be like, I don't even watch the show anymore, and they were like, stop doing the recaps.
Yeah.
So when was this podcast you guys filmed together?
Last March.
Last March.
It was
So
like I was still on the
was there
show.
a different opinion?
I was
Like-
yes, I was much nicer. I was like, because I was.
Oh
still
yeah,
trying
you
to say
couldn't really
everything.
say much about the show at the time. I don't.
Yeah.
think.
I mean, and I was still being too nice. That's what I don't like. Because I
Mhm.
was like, I love everybody. Like, we were still all in, like, we just did a show together. We're all best friends. Now, the dynamic is so different.
Bring
wish-
it back now that the dynamic's different.
That's what they should have done. I think that every show where you're supposed to, like a full cast and it's a new cast just meeting each other should at least have 2 seasons because the bonds need to be real. Like, all the guys on the show, when the producer would be like, be dramatic, they were like, why?
right.
Like I don't know these people enough to really give a shit if they don't like me. Vanderpump Rules, as we talked, like which I know you recap as well.
Yeah.
They started as a close group of friends,
Right.
So they already had a bunch of shit going on.
And I think Vanderpump Rules was so rare because of that, because they all had existing relationships and were very close. And then they slowly started adding people in. But Lohan Beach Club was such an interesting thing to me, just as a reality TV lover and watcher. It was like MTV threw so much money into it, and it seemed like such an easy slam
Did
dunk
they?
show.
Yes,
They did.
Yeah, like right before. I mean, I don't know if they threw much money into the production, but in the
Mhm.
marketing they did, because there was like
Mhm.
weekends leading up where they were like, we're showing every one of Lindsay Lohan's films.
Yeah,
They did
showed
after
every
shows,
single
which they
film.
don't do for
we did
all-
GMA. They never do GMA. Show.
Mhm.
Like you know what I mean, that it was crazy.
'Cause
And
it was supposed to be like Lindsay's like big like
Comeback.
reveal back into the mainstream eye.
yeah, well, this was the demise of it, and it's true. When we were out there, they warned us that there straight up might not be another season because of how expensive it was. So we all kind of knew that, but they were also building it up like this is going to be the next Jersey Shore, or like we this is going to be 5 years of work for you guys. Like right after I was fired, I went out that night, I signed all the papers and escaped, and actually was free. I went to Scorpios, I went everywhere. I was like, "F you guys." I did a lot of drugs, which I'll just
my
say it now,
God.
which I'm not doing anymore. We talked about this. I'm clean now. But at the time, I just got fired. I went through a month of hell. I'm like, I'm going nuts. And I ran into Panos. And I was like, I'm going to go confront that bitch. Like, you just fucking fired me. And I want to know why. So he's being so nice. He was like, oh, I'm bringing you back. Don't worry. Like, I'll bring you back season 2. So when I did your podcast, I was like, I love
Oh, you
everyone.
were being nice. Yeah.
And because, we were afraid of it. And I was trying to stay on good graces. And I didn't know what to say. But Lohan, she ruined, like, we were supposed to go back in I want to say, the beginning of summer, because we're all close with production. They told us we're going back. The last we heard was get ready, keep August free.
When was the show still airing at this point, or it had already finished?
It was over.
Okay.
So this was like May, and they
Oh,
were,
wow.
and we heard that they told production we're going back, keep August free, and I think Lindsay apparently just came out and said she wasn't doing it, or she sold the beach club, and MTV didn't know she was going to do that.
Yeah, the place was like
Oh,
empty
yeah,
or something.
that
It was
was
like a ghost town or something.
shocking
Yeah.
footage
And
that
everyone
came
was
out
like, "What
online.
happened?"
It's
Right.
like Fire Festival.
It was shocking. Like somebody went to the beach club and it was just like
Gone.
dust balls everywhere, or whatever.
Yeah. But the truth of that is, I mean, that was going to happen regardless because it's only open for 3 months. It's a summer beach
Okay.
club because
Mhm.
Mykonos in the winter is a ghost town and it's freezing. So I think it was just packed up for the winter, but then she sold it. Now it's called Blue Marlin Ibiza.
Oh my
That's
God.
what it's called. But she sold it and MTV was like, okay, then we'll do it about your actual club in Athens, which we were all more excited about. But then Lindsay was like, I don't want these kids a part of it. I want it to be more about me, my sister, and my mom. And MTV was like, that's called
I would have
Living
watched
Lohan.
that too. I would have watched that.
It would have probably been better.
Yeah, I
to
would
be
have liked
honest.
that.
And then Lindsay
I
said
was
she has
upset there was no
drama.
Dina on the show. It was like, where's
Yeah,
Dina?
yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some Dina. I just wanted her to pop in.
Yeah.
But it was such a mess. The whole show
the
was
whole-
just a mess, and it
yeah.
was like edited a mess. It was just weird, and you could tell in terms of the editing. I don't think it was like the editor's fault. I felt like there was something going on with Lindsay or with. I don't know, or they weren't allowed to show certain things or something because it just
Yes.
felt so
Yes,
choppy.
that's
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Well, she had production control. That's where they messed up.
Mm.
See, she wanted an infomercial for her beach club,
Mhm.
but we were all boring because they were basically like, we had Lindsay being like, if you do anything interesting, like if you fuck anybody, date anybody, or cause any drama, you're fired.
Yeah.
So I was there like, I came here to do every single one of those things. Like I'm here to
and
like, give you
as a
honest-
reality star should.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you could tell because Kayla was there, who Kayla is a reality TV professional. She lasted 2 fucking days. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
It was
she
a good
basically
2
warned
days,
us.
though.
A good fucking 2 days.
Yeah.
And but she, you know what? She warned us, and we were all like too afraid to believe it because we were like, okay, you aren't afraid because you came here A with a money guarantee, and B because you know you'll be on something else. For us, like this is our end all be all. Like we don't know if we're gonna be on something else.
Yeah. I've watched so much reality TV, and I always say like a first season of a show needs like a moment, like a water cooler moment. We were talking about the Real Houses of New Jersey, and it's like they had the table flip.
Yes.
And if the first season
That's
doesn't
like
have,
the only thing I know about
Right,
Real
right, but
Housewives.
you know about it,
It's a very
right?
iconic scene. Yeah.
it's like I always think when it's like a new show, something especially that we like the audience isn't familiar with, they need something. So like one of the cast, if I was a producer on one of the shows, I'd say, hey guys, like I gather your cast of Lohan. I'd say you guys there needs to be at least one moment that is like so. And now it's getting harder and harder. So like that bar has been raised so high now with
you
these
guys
reality
should
shows.
flip the cabana.
But
see,
it's like something has to happen.
There's stuff that what we were upset about watching it is we're like, this is boring because you're not showing any, like, what we know what happened, and like knowing what they didn't show is why we were pissed, because we were so excited because they didn't show anything that was fun. Like there was literally a scene where it was when we were at a club or something like that, which it didn't show any of, and I basically just turned to Alex. I'm like, they're not letting us do anything. Let's just get naked and run to the ocean. They can't stop us. Like, let's just go. And he was like, let's effing do it. So then we did. And then all the other guys were like, we're going to do it too. So then all the guys got naked and ran into the ocean, and the girls ran in after us. And then all the guys just started beating each other up and wrestling in the ocean.
Oh my God, where is that footage?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, wow.
Like we were all like just beating the shit out of each other, wrestling, and like that doesn't make the cut, but we're gonna make time for Lindsay. And they would be like,
Lindsay to save a lobster.
yes, that was already dead.
That was fun though. I really liked when she named the lobster and saved it. I also loved when she was like, I'm a chef, and then she crumpled up some chips on a sandwich. And it was like, what is going on? Like, what's happening with inside of
Yes.
you right now?
She was interesting, and the thing is, people were like, want me to say something bad about her, and like, yeah, I think she like derailed the show a little bit, but she made a smart decision for her. She was nice, so I can't say anything bad about her, but she never made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were all confused, like every time she would sit down and have like a speech that was supposed to be like a Lisa Vanderpump being like the matriarch of it all, she would be talking to us and we would just be nodding, but like I have no idea what the fuck you just said.
I am just realizing she did have a viral moment though with that. The dance was
Yeah,
like, it was
Doodle
everywhere.
Lindsay.
So that's
Doodle
now I'm
Lindsay.
even more
Doodle
surprised.
Lindsay,
How
yeah.
did this show not go on? You had this viral moment that was like everywhere.
I think in the end, when
Just a mess.
MTV just wanted one thing, Lindsay wanted another, and then she sold it. She was just unpredictable, and then they were like, I think Lindsay came out and said she wasn't doing another season, and she did that before MTV knew that was going to happen. So she just was like, I don't have any drama in my life, which is a blatant lie.
Yeah.
Like we were over
Her
here
whole
getting
life
ready.
is just drama.
Yeah, like she's out there kidnapping kids.
Right.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about that.
What
That should have been on the
time
show
we're in.
too. Like we should have explored that a little bit.
It
because-
happened after.
Yeah, but there could have been a flash forward or something. I don't know. I felt like that
Something.
there should have been
Mhm.
something. Like that was a moment.
Yes.
We should have addressed that. They should have sat her down. Hey, Linz, we need another confessional with you. Let's talk about you stealing the kid.
What the hell just happened?
Start
Yeah.
a beach club, Mac. Bring it
Start a
back.
beach
But so
club.
now
El
you should.
Segundo.
So now other reality shows. I was listening to your episode of Billy, and you said you wanted to do, or you were talking about the challenge.
Here's what happened with the challenge, because I was gonna
Mike
say
kept
this.
I'm gonna say Mike kept going back and forth about the challenge because he is a pussy. You think you won't survive, but I think you might survive a few episodes. You have the personality
I
in the
think
first
it's-
place that producers might carry you through.
It's
Yeah.
not about I don't think I would do well, because I don't think you need to be a super athlete or anything. I was with Kayla and Nani and Bill. Like we were with a bunch of them a week ago or so, and Nani was like, "Why don't you try out for it? Like you'd be great." Which right away I'm like, "Great alliances!" Like I have friends, but I'm so like I got fired and cried multiple times on a show where my job was to do nothing but take shots on a beach in Mykonos. Like the challenge just seems like a terrible time, and I said that on my interview because they interviewed me for it. They're like, "Are you excited?" I'm like, "No." It sounds like a terrible time. Like you're gonna lock me somewhere with everybody who's gonna berate me
I had to see
mentally
you
and
walking around in a
physically.
Pikachu onesie, just full of tears,
Yes.
24/7.
Yes,
That would
If-
make good TV, though.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's
and I
what-
think that's what I would do. I would
Yeah.
show up, I would get memed and leave.
They also need LGBT representation on that show because it's just like they'll usually this last season I think they had one gay man, gorgeous. His name was Sean, I think, or
Yeah.
something. Gorgeous
And he
man.
went home right away.
He went. It's the first one home, and then it's like
Mhm.
okay, now there's no one that's
Yeah.
Now there's no flavor.
Well,
right.
it's Yeah, I feel like because sometimes they get there and they're like, it's an 8-mile hike or like a sprint up this mountain. The last person has to get back on the plane and go home. I would be like Posh Spice in Spice World. You know when like they're all like going crazy in like that scene and she's just walking past everything in heels. That's me.
But see, that would be funny, and the producers, I feel like, would be like, we need to keep him around at
Keep
least like
him,
another
yeah.
week.
I hope so. One of the
But
producers.
that show, they don't let anyone have any phones or anything. Like
Yeah.
they don't get to watch TV or
We didn't
play
have
on
that
their
on Lohan
phones or-
either.
Oh my god, that's a nightmare.
Well, they screwed I remember they fucked Kayla over. That's what they would do. In the beginning, they gave everybody a different job every day. And like, for example, they'd be like, your job today is social media. You have to social everything on a phone. And then the cut would come out and it'd be like, oh my God, look at Kayla. She's on her fucking phone all day. She's not working.
Oh,
Or like
that's
Jules
rude.
and May, their job was to like hand out flyers. And they're like, look at them just walking around talking to people all day. They're not working.
Oh yeah, that was,
I
I
remember
remember that
that, yeah.
episode. They were like, "Where did they go? They left." What happened? I was like, Did you guys just tell them to do that?"
Yeah, it made no sense, but it was fun. That's why I would do it again.
So back to the challenge. So you interviewed for it. Are you going to go on it, or are you not allowed to talk about it, or is it not happening, or you don't know?
You guys, welcome to Messy, hosted by Danny Pellegrino. I love this. I love you bring a form of structure to this, so I love it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, please continue because this is amazing. We've never had this
A
before.
podcast expert.
I'm a host, so
Yeah.
that's anyway. Okay, so you're going to be on the challenge.
I don't know. The thing is,
What about like X on the Beach or something?
I was supposed to be on the last X on the Beach.
Right. I think I heard you say that on that episode. And you
Yes.
were but your exes didn't show up or something. Are there
The-
any other reality shows on MTV you would do?
The thing is, I want to do like X on the Beach sounds like fine, but all my exes I get along with. So like they would show up and it'd be like, hey bitch, like what's up? And it would be like, oh, you're gonna put me in a house with all my exes, it's just gonna be an orgy, and then that's it. You know what I mean? But like
they love that.
they
That
would.
be good. Yeah.
But like, I mean, I don't know. There's things that turn me off about it. I don't like because some people they strive to be on another show so hard,
Right.
and it becomes fake. Do you know what I mean? I know
Mhm.
people that literally try to hook up with people for a storyline to get on another show, and I can't do that. Like in MTV, literally, like I've had some agents be like, "Hey, there's a bi season of Are You the One? Study that cast to try to get on the show." That's not my like. I mean, like
If
I'll
it
have
happens,
fun.
it happens.
Exactly. And I'm not like I know people are like striving to be on the challenge because it's a great show. It does well. Everybody wants that exposure and that money.
Mhm.
But like I'm not like striving for it. If it's offered to me, of course I would do it.
Right.
I don't know if I would be great for it. I think I'd be fun. I think I'd be something different because
Mhm.
everybody on that show takes themselves so seriously. And I would just be there, like you said, in a onesie, just like I'm just here as long as I possibly can stand it.
Why is everyone fighting so much?
Well, we were at a bar, and like even like when Kayla was here, and Kayla and Billy kind of got into it a little bit over some drama, and I'm like, guys, why didn't we do this when we were getting paid? Like let's all get along. Because all the dynamics change. I wish I could. I'll tell you more at a different day. I don't want to bore
Please
you.
do. No, not boring me at all. I love reality TV. I could talk about it all day.
Well,
Mhm.
is like Housewives your top?
Yeah, I like. It's interesting. Bravo. I just love all their shows, and they're a much different pace than like MTV or E. And so whenever I do, I was just watching something on E. Like if I put on Kardashians or Very Cavallari, it's just like a totally different pace. It's much slower.
Okay.
And MTV, incidentally, is much quicker. Everything moves at a rapid pace on
Yes.
MTV. So it's just interesting. But I do, on MTV, I love The Challenge. And that show's 100 years old and it's still really good. It's like well produced and it's
Mhm.
like interesting. They have a great cast of characters. So I like that. And I like what The Challenge does in terms of like going into their history and like having these what they call vets on the show on, because it's like they're people I grew up with. And very rarely on TV do you see someone or you have a history with people from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's I find interesting. And so I mostly watch Bravo. I love Vanderpump Rules. I love all the Housewives. New York's my favorite, but I watch a little bit of everything.
If I were to ever do a show, I would want to be a housewife. And that's the truth. I told him that. I don't want to do a competition. I want to just do like,
Just
let me
have
bring out my
drama.
funny
Mhm.
life. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I would love to do. I want to do something on Bravo.
You know what's interesting too is that they film during set hours too, so it's not like you're
Yes.
going to seclusion or something like MTV often seems like they do.
And you could look nice. Like on our show, we didn't even have like hot, clean water. They want to know why I didn't have any underwear on because all my underwear, because that we had to air dry, blew off into the ocean. So I had no underwear the entire time I
Maybe you
was
should
there.
have bought more underwear.
We had no like
Yeah,
all
you
the stuff would fly away. We had no way to clean our clothes. I couldn't go get a haircut because they wouldn't let us leave the house. Like on these people have like stylists and look gorgeous all the time. And I was telling Mac, me and Billy, Big Billy, got a little bitter because they are shooting a Real Men of West Hollywood.
Oh, they are?
They're shooting a Real Men
Is
of
that
West
still
Hollywood.
For what
happening?
network, though?
It hasn't been picked up
Okay,
yet.
okay, so it's
Okay.
like a pilot.
And I think only 2 of the cast is gay.
Ugh.
And here's my problem with this. And I wanted your
Ugh.
opinion because I think I want your opinion more than anybody else.
Okay.
If it's not the gayest thing on TV and it's not on Bravo,
That's
it's not going to
gentrification.
do well.
That's
And I have 2
gentrification.
friends on it.
The,
Yes.
Yeah, right. I will say though, like I think Bravo, they seem to be moving, and I don't work for the network, I don't know, but from what I can see, it seems like they're moving away from more shows like Below Deck and Southern Charm do so well for them, and the reason why they do well is because a lot of straight men watch them, and so I think they're looking for more shows like that. So I wish that Bravo would do something like a gay House Husbands or something like that.
Isn't there also a show about people married to like doctors? Married to
Married to
Medicine?
Married to Medicine
Yeah,
is
that
so
on
good. I
Bravo?
love it. Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
What would-
You know, there also was a gay Housewives on Logo. Did you guys remember this show? This was called The A-List.
Yes.
I barely remember that.
It was good. It was like trashy good. It was gay housewives, and the guys on there were trashy. Like they would fight, and there was 2 cities. It was like New York and Dallas, and it was great. But no, it was on Logo. No one watched it, unfortunately. I watched it.
I want a good gay show. I feel like we've had so many that were just awful.
Finding Prince Charming.
Yes, Fire Island.
But there's so much right. But there's so much expectation when it comes to like a full gay cast. I feel like everyone feels like they have to present themselves in like a respectful way, and that is the antithesis of reality TV.
No, and that was the girls on our show when they were like, I promised my mom I wouldn't sleep with anybody, or like, we are classy LA girls. I'm like, if you think you're classy or have morals.
That's what bothered me the most. But I used to love Bad Girls Club. And people
Yeah.
go on there being like,
Well,
I'm
yes.
classy, I'm classy. You're on a show called The Bad Girls Club.
Yes.
Don't be classy.
Well, look at Jersey Shore did so well because they all knew who the fuck they were. They were
Yeah.
like, we're not trying to be anybody. We're just here to be ourselves. And I said that when we had our after show with JWoww. I was like, how long would you have lasted if you had to be classy on your show? She goes, I peed in a club my first day there. So I was like, perfect. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, if you're going to go on a reality, for anybody who ever wants to do a reality show, don't try to go in with morals. Just like go be a mess.
And I imagine it's hard for producers and networks because it's like they would take a lot of heat if Bravo all of a sudden had a fully gay show like, or a full gay cast and they were messy and fighting, or I'm sure they would take a lot of heat because everyone say, oh, your first gay show and it's the representation is these people fighting. So it's like a lose-lose. I think until we start having more and more LGBT-led reality shows, then it's just going to be a hard balance. If we had 10 of them, then 8 of them could be a mess if 2 of them were a little... Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think it's a hard balance and it sucks.
Well, YouTube kind of did that. Think about all the people that stood out in the beginning of like YouTube's LGBT world. It was like Chris Crocker and like Jeffree Star in the beginning being messy back when he was messy. You know what I mean? It was the people who were shocking. And then they were beyond like Jerry Springer and stuff like that because everybody was interested. And then once it became people, like it caught people's interest, that's when like the realm came. They birthed you. Chris Crocker walked so Mac does it could ride.
There's me. Did I ever tell you that he like texts my dad?
Is he in porn
Who?
now? Is he doing
I
porn?
think so. Chris Crocker. I don't know if I want to talk about it. It's like weird. My dad randomly sent me text messages being like, this person just randomly texted me. And like he showed me the text and it was saying it was Chris Crocker.
Wait,
and
but
I
what
was
did he
like,
text about?
he was just saying like, is this Mac to my dad? And my dad is like, no. And like he was saying it was Chris Crocker. And I was like, why did Chris Crocker find my dad's number?
Why is Chris Crocker looking for you?
I don't know. That
Oh my
freaked
God.
me out. And I
He's
was like,
eating spaghetti out of his ass
the
right
only
now.
way
Questions.
the only way he would find my dad's number thinking it was me is if he like tried to search me online
Does
and
he
like
follow you?
found a number because me and my dad have the same name.
Does he follow you?
No.
Did your dad text back?
Hold on, wait.
My
I just
dad
realized.
just said it wasn't. This is not Mac. It's the wrong
How long
number.
have we been going? We've been going on a tangent. We haven't played the introductory game.
We haven't done
done
anything. We've just been talking.
How much?
27.
Fuck yes. Everybody, welcome to Messy. Thank you guys so much for
Are we starting over now?
No, we're not starting over.
we just haven't.
So
we
much
were
to
talking.
talk about.
There was a lot to talk about.
There is a lot going on in the world right now that we have to discuss.
That's right. We haven't even gotten to the Super Bowl. Let's get to the game. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Messy. We have Danny Pellegrino,
Messy.
who we've been talking for the past 27 minutes. But now this is what a game we play with every guest. It's called Will It Run Clear?
Okay.
Basically, and normally they're filled with alcohol, but I know since you said you had surgery recently.
Right. I'm on a medication, so I can't drink, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all colored fluids. It's like sodas and juices and stuff.
Okay.
Basically, one of them is water, one is Sprite, one is Coca-Cola, and then one is cranberry or red Gatorade or something like that.
Ooh.
So basically, if you get water, you're safe.
Okay.
If you get the Sprite, you have to do a truth. I wrote down some truths to pick from.
Okay.
If you get the Coca-Cola, the brown water, you're in danger. You have to do a dare.
You in danger, girl. Okay.
Yes. And if you get the red liquid, that means it's like panic mode. You have to unlock your phone for 2 minutes and give it to the other two people to do
Okay.
whatever they want.
I'm not doing that, but okay. Good one.
So we get
Good
it.
one.
It's nothing. Well, the rule is if that ever happens, it's nothing too problematic.
Yeah.
It's something silly. You know what I mean? Like if I get yours, I'm texting Chris Crocker.
I don't have his number.
I'll DM him. He obviously follows you.
I don't think
Now
so.
I want
haven't
that to
checked.
happen. Can we just skip to
I
that?
don't think so. I don't know if it really was him or not. Just remember my dad sent me those text messages and I was like, what? And I kind of just kept it silent because I was like, that was weird. I don't know if
Maybe,
I should talk about that.
maybe it was someone else.
Maybe it was. But
Parading
it was
find
a
out.
weird situation.
We'll find out. So let's
So should
start.
I grab one?
Yes, you go
Okay.
first.
So I'm just supposed to drink it,
You
right?
squirt it in your mouth.
I think it's is it Sprite?
Do it one more time. Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
So what do I gotta do?
You got to do a dare. And I'll let.
Ugh.
Oh, I picked the dare.
Keep in mind, I can't move very well.
Keep in mind, he just got surgery.
Here, I wrote.
Be kind. I just had surgery and I'm depressed.
Oh my god. Here you go. You pick a dare. We'll go to the right.
So wait, I'm doing, or we're all doing dares, or
Only
we're-
you get the
okay,
dare.
Okay. Are they all? Oh, come on.
These are like
Give me a good
stupid.
one.
My-
Yes.
How about
Well,
you-
then if you want to go off, pick
Dare
one. I
me to
just
do
wrote
a
down-
truth. Dare me to do a truth.
Dare you to do it, truth. Oh. One of them is talking an accent for the next 10 minutes. That's
Yes.
my
so
God.
long.
I
But
can
like,
do it
do
for 3.
Go, do it for like
I'll
3
try.
minutes.
I'll try. I can't. I'm terrible at. I'm terrible at accent
Perfect.
work.
Perfect. We're doing that. That's
Perfect.
I
it.
sound like
Next
Lindsay
3
Lohan in all of Lohan Beach Club.
For the next 3 minutes, talk like Lindsay Lohan from Lohan Beach Club.
Okay.
You have it.
Okay. Try.
I feel like
That's
I'm more talking like
Australian.
Lindsay Lohan right now because my voice is gone. Her voice is like always gone. Whenever she's like, I was going to say a
Cigarettes
line
and
from the show,
whiskey.
but I don't know a line from the show.
She's an actress. Let her live. You want to go? You go ahead.
Okay, so it's your turn. Matt.
Can you pass me? Ooh, oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Go for it.
You don't remember what you did,
I
did
don't
you?
know. I was just shuffling it without even looking. Let's do. I feel like the one that's closest to that purple plant.
Is that the loudest you could? I'm like, I feel like you're like.
No, not that one. The other one. Other one. Yeah. Sorry. If I talk
ASMR.
louder, I just like sound like I'm like drunk. So I'm trying to like whisper. I'm sorry. This is an ASMR podcast for me. It's water.
Is it really? Fuck you. You get water every time. If I get the cranberry again, this will be the 5th time in a row. This is why we're going to retire this game if this is cranberry because this is fucking bullshit. I'm serious.
It's your game.
I know, which is
You
why it's
invented
bullshit.
it.
Like, no matter who I play this with, I
You
always get
made
the
it
cranberry.
up, and now you're mad because you're losing at your own game.
I'm sorry, Lindsay. Are you judging my dares?
I was reading the other dares.
Okay.
It's okay. We believe in you.
You got this.
Sprite.
Sprite.
Fuck yeah.
You're
Fuck you.
welcome. You want to pick?
Fuck
wait,
you.
Oh yeah. I wanna...
You can pick a truth.
Okay.
Read it to me in that accent.
What? They're all really good. I can't do an accent.
Oh, no, switch it to Panos. And then you
Panos,
can't do
I
a
can't even
Panos.
remember how Panos talk.
A Greek accent.
I can't remember. What are your top 3 turn-ons? That's a good one.
Ooh, my top 3.
These are all really
turn-ons.
good. Well, I'm going to ask you 2. First, your top 3.
My top 3 turn-ons. Confidence.
Don't have that.
If you're able to scare me a little bit. I don't know why.
I have a lot of
hot.
that.
Scare.
Like
and-
intimidate me.
Okay.
I want to be intimidated. I want to feel like if I were to like I just want to feel like I have to watch how I talk to you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's like I like the Jersey girls. You know what I mean? The ones that like if you say the wrong thing to, they'll punch you in the face. And like if it's a guy, I want to know like I don't know if you're just gonna send me a good morning text. Or
So
punch
you
me in
want
the
to
face.
feel
You mean
the
like
threat
submissive?
of being abused?
No, I don't know. I don't want to be. No, I want to
Good
feel.
question.
I just want to be not abused. I just want to know like. I want you to be tough. You know what I mean? I don't want to
Mhm.
feel like I could easily take you, even though I probably like even if I could.
What kind of relationship is grown on
Right.
fear?
I'm from New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. I like it.
Maybe like discuss that with a therapist or something. I don't know.
Maybe
Might
you
be
do need
something to
help,
think
you know?
about.
Yeah.
Just something to
Hey.
think about in your back pocket. What's the third?
Butts. I love a big
I do too.
a nice perked up butt.
We all do.
Right.
It's one of my favorite
It's
things.
2020. Year of the ass.
2020.
Even though I will say I like because since I like both, I like guy butts more than girl butts, but I like tits more than a chest, which is very confusing.
Interesting.
So I'm just like the perfect
You're
match
perfect.
for
Perfect shape.
man, tit, and a butt. Wow.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
I just
also,
don't scare you.
what's the have you ever been caught masturbating, and if so, by who? These are all good.
Have I?
I don't know. You've been caught having sex.
I mean, I've caught masturbating in front of
Did
somebody. I mean, I've
Lohan ever-
masturbated in front of somebody.
Did Lohan ever walk in while while you were at
No,
that
because
house?
then she would have hired me on the spot. I would have gotten that job regardless. No, I don't think so. I don't think I have ever been caught masturbating. I've like, usually I'm just like want to see. Like, you know what I mean? It's not really like
Not a
someone,
caught.
yeah, if someone ever walked in, I would just been like, kept going. You know what I mean? And be like, hey, unless it was a parent or like something like a family member, that would be awkward. But anybody else would just be like, get out or stay, up to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Wow.
T.
So our segment. Remember?
So, oh yeah, we have segments. We have segments on the show, guys.
Yes,
We're like 30 minutes in now.
Someone critiqued us. They're like, the hosts like rarely remember to get to their fucking segments, and we're like, what are you talking about? Oop.
We remember. We just keep on talking. So
I
I'll do
hope
mine
the
first.
comments aren't like Danny's accent was shit. I did my best. I'm on
Comments-
medication right now, you guys. I'm depressed. Be kind.
I'm depressed and on medication. Leave me alone.
I'm a mess right now.
That
I'm
should
a
be
total
a shirt.
mess.
By the way, do you have? I gotta stop tangenting. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Do you have what? Wait.
Yeah. What?
I
I
want to
wanna
know
know.
because he has a phrase that I've been saying a lot. I've been referring to my mom as a queen, icon, legend. 'Cause
Yeah,
Danny's
Queen
a-
Icon Legend. I have
Yes.
shirts coming very soon.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Wow, I want one. I want a tank top that says Queen Icon.
Queen
Legend.
Icon Legend.
Queen
Oh,
icon
where did we go?
legend.
I want Danny to be here for our segments. That's why we have him
Okay.
sitting here.
Okay,
the
let's
whole
do these
time.
segments.
Well, it's already like 30 minutes in.
Let's
He's on
do
now.
it.
Let's go. Gay agenda.
Ready? Yeah, sure.
What?
Yes.
3, 2, ready, and gay agenda with Mac.
Okay, so this week's gay agenda. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Mac's talking now.
What?
I know you're gonna have to listen really closely. I'm very sorry. I just don't want my voice to crack because if I talk loud, it's gonna be like. Ah. I don't want that right now. Not today. Not on the
Well,
Lord's
wait,
Day.
It sounds so sexy, like Phoebe and
It
Friends.
does.
Remember when she had the cold and she was?
What's Phoebe and Friends?
Yeah, I know. It was a
Phoebe in Friends. Have you ever watched Friends?
No, I've never seen Friends.
Friends was
What?
like a ripoff of Living Single. Have you ever seen Living Single?
No, I haven't seen that either.
Oh my God, Mac, come on. Okay, go on.
You might as well-
I was born in
Just keep talking with that
1996.
sexy voice.
But which one should I start with? I'll start with simple. iPhone is releasing new emojis and it's including the trans flag.
Love that.
Trans rights, yay! And also the Super Bowl just happened, and advocates are calling it a rainbow wave
What does that
because
mean?
the 49ers coach was one of the first publicly out LGBT person, publicly out lesbian to coach a Super Bowl game. And then there was a record of 11 commercials that featured or spotlighted LGBT people or storylines.
There was?
Yes,
See, thi-
apparently.
Here's my
I didn't
issue with
watch.
that they're making it like a thing. We weren't taking away attention from it. We weren't trying to overshadow it, but they included us as part of it, and now it's a fucking problem. Like how you said there should be more like LGBT stuff on television or Hallmark movies, as I know you've like reviewed. It's like you like just mention us in it, and it's a fucking problem. Like, why does that have to be a part of this? Just because it's part of sports. Butt out.
Yeah.
Leave butt stuff alone. Let it be included. It's for everyone.
To be honest, I watched Glitter during the Super Bowl yesterday.
Did
I
either
saw
of
the
you
half.
watch
I
it?
saw the
No,
halftime show, but I
literally-
missed all of
I literally
this.
forgot the Super Bowl was yesterday. I was
What?
literally just like, I fell asleep and I woke up at 5 p.m. and I was like, oh shit, there was a Super Bowl today. And I just watched Next in
Yeah.
Fashion all day.
Did you watch it? Did you not watch it?
No, I watched the early part of it and then the halftime show and then Glitter. I watched Glitter. I
Well, I was
seen
rooting
it
for
in a
the
while.
49ers, and I'm very upset.
They lost.
I know they lost.
By like 10, right?
Did you see the baby nut commercial?
No, I saw the picture.
I saw the baby nut on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I love this.
While I was watching Glitter, I saw there were a lot of people tweeting about the baby nut, and I
So
was
their
like, "What's
new
that?"
mascot's a baby?
I guess it's a baby nut.
They're trying to tap
nut.
into the Baby Yoda thing.
Yes, you
Right.
could see. What about the halftime show? Any opinions? Did you see it?
No.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. Yeah, it was great. I
And
thought
do you-
they were both good, and it was great. They played a lot of their songs. There weren't any like obvious slip ups or anything like that. It was just like a good show. It was a good show. I think women should always do the halftime show. That's I love a diva, so it's like I think let's have a
Maroon
Ooh.
5's halftime show was very
right. Like I don't
boring.
need
It
to
was very
see.
boring.
I don't need to see like another Maroon 5 or Justin Timberwolf or whatever. Like I just would prefer there to be a diva or a lady.
A diva on the field.
I have
Yeah.
a question because I know you like divas.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do a fuck, marry, kill situation.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill. Mariah Carey,
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez because she's there, and then Jessica Simpson.
Well, this is so rude, but I would first of all, I'd marry Mariah Carey's like my number one of all time of anyone. Like
Okay.
I love her. I worship her. I think she'd be my number one. Jessica, I think I'd F her because she's been described as sexual napalm by John Mayer. Unfortunately, he was rudely describing her that way. But I have to take it as fact.
Okay.
And then so I'd have to unfortunately send off Jennifer
J-Lo.
Lopez.
I loved how she did her little like hustlers like poll. She was
Yeah,
like
so
promoting
that
it all
was
the
good.
time.
everything.
I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, and especially I love how people kept like highlighting. They are stunning
Stunning. Yeah,
Stunning.
stunning.
for like how
She's 50
she's,
and
like,
Shakira's
50 now.
43.
yeah.
Mhm.
But also, I have to just shout out that she did "Waiting for Tonight," which I think is like one of the greatest pop songs ever, and I
Yes.
was just so happy because it's such an old song.
Yes.
I was happy she did it.
She was doing a lot of like gay anthems. Out
Yeah.
there. I was like, okay, I'm in now. You got everybody interested.
And do you remember that, Mac? You're too young. Do you remember that the video for for Tonight" with the like green strobe lights?
Yes.
Like she had the green strobe lights and all of that, and it was just wonderful.
It was iconic.
Took me back.
I loved it.
Yeah. Mac, do you know who J-Lo is? I don't know if you've heard of her.
J-Lo?
She had
I
a-
can't believe you haven't seen Friends.
No, I've never seen it.
Okay, well,
So wait, have you seen Jennifer Lopez's movies?
I've seen a
Besides
few of them.
Hustlers.
Yeah, I saw Wedding Plan. Not
Wedding Planner.
Yeah, Wedding
Yeah, yeah.
Planner. Okay. Yeah, and then Monster in Law. That's her
Right.
too.
Monster
Yeah.
Law's
Two
good.
classics.
Yeah, of course.
You're doing great.
I'm doing great.
You're doing
I'm-
so
I know
good.
I have culture in me sometimes.
Sit over there, keep being sick and talking
You have
sexy.
culture in you. Sometimes.
So I want to introduce Mac to the Housewives.
Okay.
Because I got into it because they film.
What about your segment?
I have a segment, guys.
Welcome to Messy.
I have a segment,
No,
guys.
it's messy, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's called messy.
That's literally why we did this, because we don't do like we know you're not gonna do this well. But people like that. I told you before we were trying to do like more like structure, and everybody was like, "What the fuck, guys? Like, where's the mess?"
So give them what they want. Be messy.
Y'all asked for it.
Mhm.
We got a lesbian story.
Gasp. Gasp, Batman.
What is that? Oh my
What is
god!
that? What is that? Lebanese.
Finally got something new. Now this is a little bit lengthy, not too lengthy, but it's a roller coaster. And I feel like there's gonna be several conversations that take place during this story. So are you ready to sing with me, Mac? 3, 2, 1, and it's hookup time with Mike. Ooh, yeah.
Those were some vocals.
Thank you.
Woo.
The eyelash is shaking.
Everyone just turned off the podcast now. Jesus.
Oh, well, sexy music start now. As some background, at the time of this story, my girlfriend and I were both 18-year-old lesbians attending BYU. We both had been raised in Mormon families, lived in a Mormon state, and were attending a Mormon school. We fell in love with each other quickly after meeting, but of course, felt that it needed to stay very, very secretive. The biggest issue we ran into was that we've never heard about anything besides hetero missionary sex or relationships. Everything we did was trial and error. Can I just say that's every gay ever?
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
have to dive on in.
You dive on it.
You just go
Muff
for
dive
it.
on in. You just got to do it.
I wish that there was like I was totally breezed over that. Muff dive on it.
You just got to muff dive in. Figure it out. We've all been there.
There needs to be like at like these LGBT centers some kind of like same-sex education, because
A
we all just
pamphlet.
going in like for the kill and finding shit out the wrong way.
Right. I always say, like, with doctor, I grew up in Ohio, and it was like, I remember going to my primary care doctor, and they're not versed to like speak to LGBT people. And it was like, even things like STD testing and stuff, when you go in as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, it was like, I remember the doctor like he didn't even ask about my sex. I don't remember at the time the doctor even asking about sexuality or something. They just treat you as if you're a heterosexual person. At least mine did. Hopefully more, and particularly out here in West Hollywood, maybe they do. But in Ohio, I was like, they're not even treating me for situations that a gay person would be in.
Yes.
And that's troublesome.
Well, then you're going to love where this story goes because it gets medical. Anyway.
Oh, no.
Yeah, now I'm worried.
Which brings us to the story. I had a group of friends over to watch inappropriate comedies, which really means any comedy not aimed at children, because I guess they're Mormon. I don't know. One of the movies they watched was Chasing Amy, which has 2 queer main characters. In a scene, the girl demonstrates a very short and simplified version of fisting.
Ooh. Casually.
Now, I brought this new lesbian knowledge to my girlfriend and said I wanted to try it. Right off the bat, I want to go to
jump into that. Wow.
First of all, because I think she wants to get fisted in the vagina.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, I've seen videos.
Have you?
Why? I've come across them. I don't
I'm sure you
purposely
have.
search for vaginal fisting.
It's like the next up on YouTube. It just shows you.
The next challenge. Fisting. But first of all, that's the first thing you want to try? I don't know. I don't understand it, but I don't judge. Anyway.
A vagina can stretch,
But see,
girl.
she didn't know. She just thought that was the only thing to do.
A vajayjay could stretch. It has to fit a baby out.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could
From
stretch.
the other way.
What
No?
do you mean?
Like the baby comes from the inside out. I didn't know it could.
Yeah, the baby
Oh.
comes. Yeah, it stretches.
I know
that
it
vagina is
stretches.
ready.
I've been around a vagina. But I don't know. Anyway. Sorry.
She got fisted. She fisted?
She got fisted. We didn't have they were thinking about being fisted.
This is a listener that wrote this in.
Yes.
Wow.
We didn't have a VHS or anything, so I had to use my memory only to go off of. She was very nervous because the
Instead
idea
of shoving a VHS player up the girl? Or
No,
what do you mean?
she
I don't understand.
she wanted to like rewatch the
Oh.
scene that inspired it.
Okay.
Oh,
But
so
she-
this is like years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it has a happy
Now, Mac,
ending.
a VHS player is what people used before digital and before DVD.
Yes. Blu-ray. Okay, she was nervous of the idea of stuffing the whole hand up her Christine Baranski.
Mm.
Which, by the way, who's Christine Baranski?
Wow. Okay. Whew. Okay, so Christine Baranski is an actress. She was in the Mamma Mia movies. She's in The Good Fight, currently airing. She's a legendary actress. She's a character actress.
Got
But she's
it.
amazing.
For the rest of this podcast, we're going to substitute the word vagina with Christine Baranski.
Christine
Perfect.
Baranski?
To pay respect.
Okay.
Yes. So she was nervous about shoving her whole hand up her girlfriend's Christine Baranski because it didn't sound like it would feel good. But I had confidence in this and offered to receive first. Love that. We ended up with me naked on all fours with my girlfriend still clothed, standing beside the bed. Now, as I said, the scene I saw wasn't very long, and it takes probably 2 seconds for the demonstration to go from nothing in there to a whole ass fist. I didn't really think about the fact that you should go slower than that, or consider the fact that I'd only ever had 2 fingers in here before.
So she just had her girlfriend full out punch her vagina.
Yeah, I know. Like, what? Yes. Neither did my
What?
girlfriend. So when I said I was ready, she just plunged her whole hand in my pussy at once. I mean, my Christine Baranski. At once.
Oh my God.
Is anybody else?
She had to go to
fully-
the. So this
Yeah.
is where the medical comes in. She had to go, of course, to the doctor and
Got
say, "Hey."
stitches or
I'm
something.
fully clenched right now. I don't know. Anyway.
She checked into the doctor. They're like, "What happened?" She's like, "Oh, my Mormon friend punched my badge." Oh my God.
I let out a bit of a yelp because, duh. She pulled out her hand and began panicking because she kept panicking behind me because there was a lot of blood.
Oh no.
Oh no.
There we go.
Yep. That's when the door opened, and the girls in the room next to me heard me scream and wanted to be sure I was all right.
Oh no.
They came in yelling, "Are you okay?" and then just stopped and stared. We probably had 3 minutes of pure silence before I quietly went, "What's happening?" Now obviously
She said it quietly.
quietly, I guess.
What's happening?
Say what's happening.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Now, obviously, I wasn't going to say what was actually going on, so I just mumbled, "My tampon got stuck." that wasn't the right way to get it out. That was something they could kind of understand, so I diffused a little bit and went back to asking if I was okay. That's when one girl volunteered that her dad was a gynecologist, and she thought that I should probably talk to him and make sure that I didn't have any injuries. I lied and said that I was on my parents' insurance and they'd kill me if I ever went to the gyno, and I thought that was the end of that. Because I think it was a Mormon gyno, so she was afraid.
Her parents would kill her if she ever went to a gynecologist? Did
No,
they just want her to just like...
I don't know. They're Mormon, and she was like using it as an excuse.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
her friend just saw her get punched in the vagina. She's rambling at this
trying
point.
to find a way out of it.
We're sorry to all the Mormons out there who were jumping to conclusions for. We don't know.
Am I? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, even if someone was punching me in the vagina, I wouldn't know what to say
I
either.
don't think Mormons are punching each other in the vaginas. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I think this was a specific case.
It
But
was. I'm sorry if I made any reference. Anyway, skip forward a couple of hours to that evening. I hear a knock on my door and answer it to my friend's dad. He said she'd called him to tell him what happened, and while he understood my reasons for declining, he wanted to make sure everything was okay. So this man just like showed up at this random girl's house to be like, "I'm inquiring about your vagina." I'm a
and how
doctor."
long was it?
Like
A couple
few
hours?
later.
Oh my god!
Like can you imagine just being like your friend's dad showing up, being like, "I heard your vagina hurts."
Your vagina's bleeding.
This sounds like something that should be published in a Cosmo magazine or something. Like they put stories like this.
Yes.
But go ahead. I guess you're the new Cosmo.
I love that. He wasn't offering to examine me in my dorm or anything, but he wanted to talk about issues to look out for and handle if it ever happens again. I was mortified, but I was kind of glad that people bought my story and weren't saying I was a lesbian. She agreed to talk to him because it was actually still hurting and wanted to see if they had any tips to help. We talked for a bit and must have said something wrong because he eventually stopped talking and just stared at me. When I asked what was wrong, he quietly asked, "Are you a homosexual?"
Ooh.
I panicked, of course, and said no, but I don't think he believed me and told...
It looks like your vagina was
He
punched. and
told-
that's only some gay shit, man.
Ma'am, this is a lesbian situation.
Yes. He told me that he was a doctor and he didn't care what I was. He just needed the truth, like what you were saying before. I realized at this point that I was probably not going to be able to trick him, but I still might be able to protect my girlfriend. I ended up creating a pretty awful lie that I thought I was a lesbian but wasn't sure, and lied to my friend to trick her into touching my vagina. He basically responded with, "All homosexuals will eventually force themselves on others," and told me to find a
What?
therapist to cure me.
Okay. I have a problem with that,
An
man.
unsolicited doctor showing up to then inspect your vagina and then tell you that you should get your
And
head
to get
straight.
therapy, like, fuck you.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
As he was leaving through, he passed my girlfriend in the hall, pulled her aside, and said that I'd told him everything and he was sorry. Obviously, she didn't know what I actually told him and assumed that I had told him everything, that they were, I guess, a couple. She decided in that moment to just own it, though. She held her head high and told him, "We love each other, and if you can't handle that, that's your own fucking problem." They weren't alone in the hallways, so very shortly after, everyone in the building knew they were lesbians. The next day, our bishop called both of us to the chapel and told us that we have to end up excommunicating from the campus. Ahem. They left BYU, Utah, and the Mormon Church, unfortunately, but now it is 15 years later and they're celebrating their wedding anniversary.
Aw,
That's
happy
good.
ending.
Happy ending. That's why I want to read it.
You know,
I know BYU can't do that anymore. They can't kick people out if they're gay, I believe. I don't know.
Well, this was 15 years ago.
It was 15 years ago, yeah.
It was love at first muff punch.
I think Muff Punch. I think going back to having a doctor who's either LGBT or well versed,
Mhm.
all the girl would have had to said if she went to an LGBT doctor is, "I just watched Chasing Amy," and lesbians
Like,
know
oh,
Chasing
no,
Amy.
here we go.
Exactly.
They'd be like, "Okay, I got it," and it would have been the end of it.
Exactly. But I don't know. I think I didn't like the person being like, "I'm a doctor, you can trust me," and then when she opened up to him, he judged her. I didn't like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Doctors need to adhere to some rules. Going back to my depression, the very first time I was diagnosed, I remember I was 18 or 19, and I went to the same primary care doctor that my dad went to, and they had done all this blood work and stuff, and then the doctor had given my results to my dad because he had been in the office like 2 days later or something. And that's doctor-patient confidentiality.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm sharing this.
No, please.
I forget my point.
Please.
But the point is, I hated that man. But it was like, you know, there's certain rules. I don't think that a doctor's supposed to just go to a house and then give that kind of medical advice. I mean, what do I know? I'm not a doctor, but
Well, I think that's just like a
Pisses
human
me
thing. I don't
off.
think you should do that.
right.
Period.
I'm just imagining just her just right in, like not even no warm up, no stretches.
I want a
just
live
like
action recreation. That's what I want.
I mean, that is intense.
Yes.
You know how they like do those crime shows where they have like this like skits in between where they recreate? I want someone to pay us the rights and do that with hookup time with Mike.
Without just punching someone
God.
just right there.
I think that would be a hit.
It would be shocking for
We
sure.
recreate people's hookup stories.
Listen, if it's not happening.
Season 3.
I'm just happy that it had such a great happy ending.
Me too. That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to read it. I
ended
told
in
you it was a roller
marriage.
coaster.
And you know, I wonder if they like tell people that when they're on like double dates and stuff, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, how'd you meet?" or "What happened when you first got together?" And she's like, "Oh, she punched my badge."
I also love that the lesbian story ended up with a marriage, and all the gay stories we get end up with like he came on me and left.
Do you get that one a lot?
A lot.
A
yeah.
lot.
First off, I started my own experiences, and then it just came. I realized that I'm not alone. You know what I mean?
You're not alone.
No, at least not in West Hollywood. But let's.
What was that line she whispered to the "What's happening? What's happening?" That was
That'd
my
be a
favorite
great
detail.
Whisper sweet nothings. Next time someone's like entering you, just whisper.
happening?
What's happening?
Been there.
If this podcast isn't titled Muff Punch with Danny Pellegrino,
Enough punch. Wow. Wow.
well,
What's going on with my career?
welcome to Messy. That's why we were joking with Billy when we were on here. We were like, you've been on MTV, VH1, Ellen, and now Messy.
Mhm.
Congrats. But
Progression.
now, as we've established, Mac hasn't watched a lot of things.
Right. We need to
Apparently.
get you a DVR.
Apparently, I just don't.
I want to introduce him to Housewives because I think you would love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you would
There's
like.
like so many seasons. And
There's so many seasons, but you
series
could.
now,
There's so
right?
many different ones you could hop into. Like, New York's my favorite, but I feel like you could pop in at any time,
Pop
and
in.
I could give you specific seasons. Like, I think season 3 of New York is like the best, and so I feel like you could jump in there, or you can, if you want to come more recent, like if you don't have the time to binge it, you could jump in just maybe 2 seasons ago of New York. You'll get to know
I
them quickly.
disagree.
That's the best
I would think you should watch.
I know,
season by
yeah,
I mean,
season.
I agree too, but if like for some reason you're skeptical and you're
Yes.
thinking, I don't have time for all that fucking
Yes.
stuff.
Because I feel like we could have a podcast long about not only every episode, every season. Like, if you were to list, like, if someone were to go season by season, what should they go by? Because I think they even did like Miami, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, Miami and DC don't exist anymore,
Aren't
but
they
Miami
doing
season 2 is
Salt
great.
Lake too, Salt Lake City.
They are.
shit.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting. Mormon housewives.
I know. Speaking of, or maybe one of those girls.
Yes,
the mother.
One of them.
Come on.
Bravo was smart. They'd get them on the show.
they should do the real Sister Wives.
You're right. They'd
my
get some
God.
LGBT representation and
would
a
love
good
it.
muff punch story.
What are the top 4 housewives?
Like
think.
women, like just specific women.
Not of all time. I mean, like franchises. Like,
Oh, New York's my favorite for sure. Potomac has like really come into its own, and just like the last 2 seasons have been amazing TV. It started off really rocky, and then Atlanta, of course, is like I think Atlanta's the highest rated. Like they
Mhm.
do the
that
best.
one's always trending on Twitter. I see
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Atlanta's so great. They all have something different, and what I love about them is each city has like a different flavor. Where it's like
yes.
these are the women. That's why I'm excited about Salt Lake, because it's just going to be a different kind of woman that's on that show. And so I think that's interesting. And one of the things that I always tell people about Housewives that is so wonderful is like New York, for instance, we see their dating life, we see their sex life. And there's nowhere else on TV where we get to see women over 50 dating and getting divorced and having sex and all of this stuff. It's very rare, even on scripted TV, for us to be able to see a whole group of women. Occasionally, we might have a scripted show that's like, I don't know, Nurse Jackie popped in my head, but like, like something like a scripted show about, or Christine Baranski's on The Good Fight, where it'll be like
Grace
one
and
or two,
Frankie.
Grace and Frankie. It'll be like
Yeah.
one or two people who are women who are over a certain age. But on Housewives, it's like we have a whole cast, and yes, they're messy and dramatic, and there's
Mhm.
fights and all that stuff. But it's pretty amazing that
Yes.
culturally there's this very successful franchise where it's women over 50.
Yes, and it's a range. Like they have like serious problem fights and ridiculous problem fights that are amazing. Like I told them, they like literally go to jail in some like in the Jersey. They like Teresa went to
Yeah,
jail.
she
She,
went to
straight up went to
prison.
jail.
Really?
Yeah.
But she also had a 3-episode long fight with Caroline Manzo on how to cook meatballs. And you were less Italian because, which I texted my mom and my human resources mother, I want to get her on so bad.
Oh,
She ended it right away. She goes, they're traditionally fried in olive oil, but I bake them and they come out fine.
Right.
Done.
Right.
Done. But these bitches are fighting for 3 episodes.
Yeah, there's sometimes the weird little fights are even better than I think like the fights that are
Circle.
trending on Twitter. Like there's been fights on Orange County. There was a time where a cast member like bit the bow off someone's cake, and it was just like they took a tiny bite of like a celebration cake, but it was like this big dramatic thing. Or there's
season-long argument.
yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's like that's so funny. Like it's just or there was one where one housewife sat in the other housewife's chair at dinner, and it became like a 2-episode arc. And it's like that's the kind of shit that's so bizarre. And so I watch it as almost a comedy, these shows, because I find it funny. But
It was my first intro to like how like TV worked because I'm from the town where they shoot Housewives of New Jersey. And at first we didn't know it was Housewives. We thought they were making a reality show about the brownstone, which for me, I'm like, that's just where all the kids do a bunch of Molly at Sweet 16s. Like, what's so special about the brownstone? And then I knew my sister's best friend is now married to Jacqueline and Loretta's daughter,
Ashley.
Ashley, and she pissed me off on the show because I thought she was so spoiled and annoying. But I also knew how like I'm not gonna like go out here and like say what I heard about Ashley, but like I knew the kind of person she was and like what she was like the crazy shit she would do not only in Jersey but like with my friends in New York and stuff like that. So I don't know. I had like tea and to see how they would portray themselves on TV, like the posh fashion show is such a big deal. No one fucking cares about the posh fashion
But it
show.
they made it like a yearly thing.
Posh
It
fashion
became
show.
it's
Yeah,
sorry.
it's like a yearly event on the show. That
and,
they-
but it
Yay.
just becomes a place where they just like fuck each other up.
New Jersey's interesting because it started as like a very family show. Like half the cast was related to each other. Like Jacqueline, Dina, and Caroline were related, and now we have Teresa and her sister Melissa. So it's like it's more family oriented than Beverly Hills or some of the other franchises where it's random groups of women.
Mhm,
So
Yeah.
mhm.
and Italian too.
Was the first one in Beverly Hills?
The first one's
Oh, so
Or
Orange
was it Orange
County.
County? Orange
Yes.
County. I remember that.
And the OC Vicky just left.
She just got
Oh, is
fired.
that still going
yeah.
on?
Oh, do they leave or get fired? Like, how's
So
it-
like from what I understand, they offer them contracts at the beginning of each season, and so they didn't offer her another contract. So I think they kind of let the housewives put out a statement and say, I'm no longer going to be on the show. But it's technically firing.
Mhm.
I believe it's firing because it's like they didn't get offered the show again.
So Real Housewives Orange County is still going on?
Yeah, yeah. it's
season
like
like
13
I
and
think.
15. It's
Yeah.
been, I remember when
Ugh.
it just started when I was like
a babe.
a child. Yeah.
babe.
Oh my god, I know.
I think the only one everybody's like now so afraid of leaving is Ramona.
Yeah, I'm
Ramona
very
Singer.
fearful of her.
They,
That,
I
yeah.
see a bunch of posts like if they touch a single hair on Ramona Singer's head, which I thought I tweeted out when I first started watching. I was like, I've nicknamed Ramona Crazy Eyes, and everyone's like, yeah, so is the rest of the world, Mike. What the fuck? Like you're way behind because she's like
She's
she's
wild.
nuts. She's nuts, and she like talks like she's like a robot, and I'm like I'm obsessed with you. I don't know. I fell in love with these women very fast.
They're it's weird too. I was at BravoCon and it's interesting. This was like a whole con, like a Comic Con or something like that of fans who are obsessed with Bravo.
Mhm.
And it's become almost, it's like sports for fans of the show. Like people worship these housewives. And in other circles, like when my parents don't watch Housewives, and it's like if I mention Countess Luann, she's like, my mom's like, who the fuck is that? Like, you know, like other people who don't watch, like Mac is sitting here like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, I was like, who's
Yeah.
Countess Luann?
But everybody has different interests. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you said, it's different age demographics. It's different things that you find interesting. Like there's like from a YouTube perspective, some people will be like, oh, I've never say you only watch YouTube. Like that's your form of entertainment. You know nothing about reality TV. I try to do recaps on my YouTube channel, and everyone was like, I don't watch reality TV or I don't have fucking cable.
Right.
And then there's people who like watch like MTV shows that all know like Kayla, but everybody on YouTube is like, who is
Different
that? Or
fan bases.
it's different
yeah.
fan bases. You know what I mean? It's just it's different forms of where you get your entertainment. You know what I mean? They haven't really merged.
Yeah.
from
I
my
just recently,
perspective.
speaking of, which got into YouTube. I sound like such an old lady. Like I just got into YouTube.
Just got into the
But
YouTube.
my boyfriend, I know, my boyfriend would always watch like different people that he subscribed to, and I like that. Like I'm like, who are these people? Like I didn't know Jeffree Star and like, just random.
Welcome.
Now I'm like I'm sort of starting to get to know the
Yes.
YouTuber.
Wait until you watch Bon Appetit. You'll never.
I'm
leave it.
obsessed with Bon Appetit. I'm also
Everyone
obsessed
is.
yeah,
It's
I'm
such
obsessed
a
with Bon
great show.
Appetit. I'm obsessed with Architectural Digest.
Love.
I love the Vogue videos. There's a lot of them that I love.
It's a
but-
lot.
Yeah.
But it's also weird humor. You know what I mean? It's a different type. And I
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I did the reality thing, I asked Mac, I was like, would you ever do a reality show? He goes, no, what?
No,
Why?
Why would I do that?
Yeah. He's like, I'm already doing very well for myself and I have like full control.
Right.
Which I think is hard whenever I see like a YouTuber trying to go to like a reality setting because you lose all control. It was like
Yeah.
like you're used to making everything and now you're relinquishing your power.
And I think on YouTube, you could probably speak to this. It's like you can put out what you want and like how you can reveal the amount of your life. That's how I feel with podcasting. It's like I can reveal what I want when I want. But on a reality show, you have no control of that.
Yeah.
Stuff just comes out or people leak
You can be
things.
caught slipping, and all of a sudden they make an entire story arc about you
Yes.
being a bitch or something.
Yeah. Or on like, for example, like a story that follows your life. It's not just like a challenge or something like that. If it follows your life, like if you go through a divorce, like a lot of these women do, or like someone like cheats on you or whatever, instead of having it be a private moment, it's now you have everybody in the world's opinion on it. And that probably has to make you go fucking nuts, which it does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And that's why I don't do reality TV, guys.
If you were, I want you to find one that you love that you would be like, I'd be on that.
A reality TV show. I feel like I'll do The Circle. That's like
Would
the
you-
only thing I think I
Oh,
can
yeah.
do.
You could do The Circle. I could
Just
see
'cause I don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah. Just alone in the apartment. I like that
Exactly.
idea.
I love that too.
What a great time.
Danny would just be like on his, the Twitter format all day, like, guys, I'm being sick and depressed.
Right. I'm depressed right now. I'm taking my meds.
But I feel like people would like love that. They'd be like, oh my god, same, me, keep him, stand him, protect him at all
Damn
costs.
love.
I always say like on reality TV, I would want to be like a Bethany presence on Real Housewives of New York. Most people know who she is, and I felt like she was able to control her narrative a little bit better than some of the other housewives have in the
Yes.
past.
I feel like she has pull though that the other ones don't.
She has pull, and also her kind of role on the show, particularly at the very beginning, was like the Greek chorus. So she was like the audience surrogate. So she was open and honest, but I feel like I would want to be like kind of the Greek chorus where I could come in my confessionals, like talk shit about everyone, and then not show my own life. Like that would be what I would want to do.
The confessionals are the best part. I feel like that's where like the YouTube. I feel like that's why you would do great.
You would be
because
great
you'd
at that.
great in a confessional.
Be talking shit in these confessionals that be so quiet in the actual
Yeah.
house.
That's what I was told. One of my main pulls for like whenever I interview for something is I'm good in confessionals.
That's like, did you ever watch Celebrity Big Brother when Tiffany Pollard was on it?
She's
So
She was the
perfect
queen
icon.
of confessionals.
Did you ever watch those reality shows like I Love New York? and
Yeah,
Flavor of
I
Love?
think New York, Tiffany New York Polar, she's the best. Some of the
Yes.
best reality TV ever. And
I
she's
wish they
doing
brought that
MTV
back.
now, I
Is she?
think. Yeah, she's, I think, going to be doing X on the Beach.
Really?
What?
Oh
Maybe,
my
or maybe,
gosh.
don't quote me on that. It might be something else. Yeah, it is.
She's been going from reality show to reality show like for years.
I find
they're
it-
pulling
yeah.
that. They're pulling from everything. I know from X on the Beach, they're really mixing it up. They're looking at porn stars. They're looking at all their networks. Like now they've opened up CBS. They're pulling from everything. For that
I'm
kind of
so
stuff.
fascinated by MTV's casting lately too, because they are pulling from everywhere, and they seem to be going after like my age group. Like MTV always chased a younger audience, and now they're going after the millennial age group,
Yes.
and they're casting people that we know from, or my age group knows, not you, Mac.
From the past.
But they're taking people like Tiffany New York
Mhm.
and putting her on these shows, which they wouldn't have done that. I don't know, a long time ago.
Excuse me. Well, I think that's because they've tried that and they see that I think the younger generation is strictly digital and streaming.
Yeah, they're not getting the young audience, so they might as well lean in doing things like the Hills reboot or Jersey Shore reboot that my generation wants to watch. Not you, man. Sorry.
I think the only time I was ever upset is when Jill
Zarin?
Zinger. I cannot believe they got rid of her. I thought she was great.
She pops in now and again now.
Does she?
Jill
Yeah,
Zinger.
Jill Zarin. She's
Jill
Zarin.
Zarin. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
She's from the Real Housewives of New York, and they got rid of her. And her and Bethany had like an infamous friendship that dissolved. It was like some of the most compelling TV when their
wow.
friendship
Wow.
dissolved.
Is Nene still on Atlanta?
She is.
They'll never
Nene's
get rid
still
of
on.
She'll
Nene.
never. Okay.
Who do you think they'd get rid of? You know what? We have a game.
Yeah.
right? How deep are we in? How deep are we? An hour and 6
An hour
minutes.
and
Let's
6
play this
minutes.
fucking game.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll make it quick. So, for the next 10 minutes, we'll try to make this fast. You are Andy Cohen.
Okay.
I brought back a bunch of housewives, and we are going to play.
Speaking of Andy Cohen, how rich is that man?
He's gotta be
I
really rich.
scared him. I know this is my last tangent.
Yeah.
Because I love when he comes to the Abbey and he'll be a little like drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to see like him be a little sloppy. When I did the after show, Watch What Happens Live, and he was like, "Hi, would you guys like anything to drink?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll take tequila." He goes, "Have I met you before?" And I was like, "Yes, I've seen you at the Abbey a few times." He sprinted away. Like he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Like he made an empire just filming women addicted to Xanax, basically. And look at him now, you know?
He's got like a book imprint now too, and
Mhm.
he produced. I mean, he's literally like, yeah. I wonder how.
An icon.
Yeah.
Queen icon legend.
Yeah. Thank you, Auntie.
So Danny, let's have you switch with Mac and put you in the hot
Okay.
seat.
Okay.
He's gonna be
I just had surgery, and you're making me move.
I'm so sorry. Now I brought back, let's see, how many do we have here? Like 20 housewives, iconic housewives.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 2 names and you have to get rid of one until there's only one left.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be
I just picked the one I'm getting rid of.
Yes, you're
Okay.
firing people.
Okay.
2 women at a time. Get close to
Oh,
me.
I got
wait.
this. I got
Move them
this.
in. Move them in.
Oh my god.
All right, we'll go 2 at a time. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
What am I doing?
You're just reading the 2 names. I'm gonna go first and then you go second.
Okay.
Okay. You have Aviva from New York
Mhm.
or Kim Richards from Beverly Hills. Who do you
I'd fire Aviva.
fire Aviva. Bam.
And, you know, it's gonna be brutal, but I got to make decisions here.
Now you go to the next 2.
Here we have Candy Woo.
Candy from Atlanta.
Candy
Burris.
and then Kim Woo.
Zolciak.
Kim Zolciak. I'd fire Kim Zolciak.
What kind of last names? Like, wow, I can't even judge. My name
Matt,
sounds
Candy
like a
Burris
gargle.
is a legend. She wrote No Scrubs by a group called TLC.
Did she really? Oh, I didn't know that.
You might have heard of her.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know she wrote that. Wow, I love you, Candy.
She was in Escape, the musical group.
The next one we have Yolanda Foster from Beverly Hills or Tamara Judge from Orange County.
Oh, I'd fire Tamara, who coincidentally just got fired.
Now we have Vicky Hall from Orange County.
Vicky, who just got fired.
Vicky Gumbelson. Okay.
And then Kelly Bensimon from New York.
That's tough. I would fire Vicky.
You
Yes.
like Kelly Bensimon?
You know, yeah, I do. I know. It's-
Oh, stay-
people
okay,
hate her, but
Scary
I like her.
Island
Yeah.
Stan.
yeah, she was crazy, but good
Okay.
for TV.
We have Caroline Manzo versus Countess Luann.
I'd fire Caroline. That's tough.
Why do
though.
you
That
guys-
one was
Why
tough.
is her name Countess Luann?
She was a
She was a
countess for like
countess.
1 season and now still calls her a countess.
Oh wow.
She was a countess, then got divorced, and then but now she's like, I'm still a countess.
I'm still...
She took the name, like Lady
She
Gaga.
liked the title. Yeah.
Yes.
Now we have Kyle Richards
From Beverly Hills.
from Beverly Hills and Ramona Singer
Oh,
from
I'd
New
fire
York.
Kyle.
Bye, girl. All right, we have Teresa Giudice, or is it Giudice now?
It's both, really. Every interview is different.
Teresa Giudice versus Jill Zarin.
I would get rid of Jill. I love Jill, but yeah.
Nene Leakes or Bethany Frankel.
Ooh, that's tough.
Oh, that's really tough.
That's really
I
tough.
would get rid of. I would get rid of Nene. I would only get rid of Nene because I feel like Nene wants to go right now.
I feel like Nene seems over it
She
too.
seems over it, right?
Yeah. She's made her iconic memes.
That's why I
She got
asked
her
if she was
back.
on it because she's always seemed like she's been over it. Like that was like the
Yeah.
big drama about it. Like I think like she was going to leave at one point, I believe,
Yeah.
and then like they paid her a lot to stay or something.
She left for a minute. There was like
Yeah.
one season she left, and then they brought her back. Yeah.
My friend just got a new house and I walked in. I was like, "What is this, honey? A white refrigerator? We gotta get you a home." Anyway, Lisa Rinna from Beverly Hills, or Carol Rodswell from New York.
Oh, I would fire Carol.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Carol too, but I would fire her.
She leaves.
Yeah.
I've gotten there anyway.
Lisa Vanderpump or who?
Sonia Morgan.
Oh my God, that's tough
That is
too.
tough.
I'm attached to Sonia Morgan, so unfortunately,
Is Lisa still doing the show?
we have Lisa on Vanderpump Rules, so we don't need her on Housewives.
There you go. Bye, girl. Now we're gonna
She's
circle
great,
back.
though.
It's gonna continue to get
Okay,
tough.
okay.
We have Kim Richards versus Candy.
I would keep Candy.
Oh, you're gonna keep Candy.
Yeah, I would get rid of Kim. Although I love
Kim.
This is so mean.
You got so
I
excited
love
to
Kim.
cross off Candy.
There you go. These two.
Yolanda Foster or Kelly?
Benzema.
I would keep Kelly. I can't believe Kelly's making. This is the March
keeping
Madness.
Kelly?
This is
Wow.
my kind of March Madness too, by the way.
I know. We should post it somewhere for other people to play. Any. Countess Luann or Ramona Singer?
I'd get rid of Countess.
Get rid of Countess. I love how this just became a lightning round.
Sorry, I know. I'm so laser focused.
That's good.
Teresa Giudice or
Giudice.
Bethany Frankel?
I would keep Beth, and I would get rid of Teresa, unfortunately.
Wow. This is becoming tough, too.
I know, it's very tough.
Lisa Rinna or Sonia Morgan?
I would get rid of Rinna. Yeah, now it's getting hard.
Making the turmoil inside you go nuts.
One more?
I'm going
You
to
got-
change my mind later. I'll like text you in the middle of the night. Be like, you know
Actually.
I want to keep Teresa.
So Candy or Kelly?
Candy, yeah.
You get rid of Candy?
I'd keep Candy, sorry.
Keep Candy. Oh, well, bye, Kelly. She made it far, though.
Yeah, she did. Shockingly far.
We have Ramona Singer versus Bethany Frankel. That's
That's
two OGs.
really, really tough. And to me, Ramona is the best at that job.
I agree.
So I would keep Ramona and get rid of Bethany.
And I feel like Bethany's got other shit going on.
She's got other and also I'd say Bethany is probably like the number 2 at that job. Like out of
Yes.
anyone else, I think like Bethany was such a good housewife. But yeah.
Oh, wow. Now we have... I don't know if I
What is it,
planned this that
Ramona,
well.
Candy?
We have 3... No, we have Ramona, Candy, and Sonia.
So let me just rank them. Ramona would be my number 1. Candy, I never expected Candy to be my number 2.
Wow.
That's the game, I guess.
You
People.
just learned something.
So I guess
Gasp.
Candy number 2 and then Sonia number 3.
Who's
Wow.
Candy?
You know,
Who's
I go in and out
Ramona? Who's
I know.
Sonia?
I go in and out with Candy, though I sometimes really don't like her, but lately I've been really into her. So it is
Yes.
what it is.
I feel like you could be a housewife.
Would
I
you do
feel like
that,
you
Mac?
could. I feel like you could because Mac is good in like the interviews and stuff like that. But I feel like you could make bullshit an argument because you would just use it as like a joke. I asked him originally what his housewife tagline would be. What was it?
I haven't heard a cow moo in weeks. I don't know. I thought it'd be funny because
I love that.
I've heard the taglines, and so I was like, what if there's just one housewife that's just completely out of it the
I like
entire
that.
series?
I like
Mine was
that.
gross. I didn't want to be too sexual because I know.
What was it?
It was I swallow everything except for my pride.
Oh my god, that would have been a good one too, but they
That
would have
would-
never aired it.
Exactly. So I was switching up. My sister was like, "You should just be like, I'm not going to be here long anyway." So I was like, "What are you trying to say?" Anyway. So who wins? Ramona Singer. Wow.
She's my number. I mean, I could have predicted that. She's my number 1. I think she's just great at the job, and a monster, a true monster.
a true monster. Well, you guys, you heard it here first. Ramona, if you ever want to come on Messy, honestly, I don't know if she would
She wouldn't
destroy
do
me.
it. She wouldn't do it.
No, she wouldn't even take a picture.
No.
Oh my god, let's try to get a housewife on here. That'd be great.
That'd be fun.
I'll be able to see what you guys are talking about in real life. Like,
They're-
okay, I'm gonna watch this
Next
show.
time you lose your voice.
I've interviewed a lot of them, and it's wild.
I
It
bet.
is? Okay.
They're
wow.
professionals.
Then we can get
Professional.
Lindsay. She'll definitely do this
She's
show.
not doing anything else. But she's doing the Masked Singer.
Is she on the
Is
Masked
she?
Singer?
She is one of the Australian judges.
Oh.
I love when Lindsay's on Instagram and she just comments on people's stuff, and it's the saddest comments. Like,
Yeah.
they're always so sad.
She literally, I think, right before I got fired, I posted a picture hiking with no shirt. And she commented, you have no brand without she added herself at Lindsay Lohan, stop getting naked.
I love
I was
her.
like, first of all, spoilers. Second of all, thank you for telling me I'm nothing without you. Which girl, you're right. You're right.
She's
Well-
had so many opportunities for a comeback, but they never pan out.
Honestly, she needs a break. She needs a production break.
Well, that was our episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Where can people find you?
You can find me on social media at Danny Pellegrino and on Twitter and Instagram. And if you like I talk Housewives and everything on Everything Iconic, which is my podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, wherever.
And don't forget, guys, I'm from a ex-bartender. Danny has a book he just co-wrote come out.
Right. Fancy AF Cocktails. I co-wrote it with Ariana and Tom from Vanderpump Rules, which is also on Bravo. It's out now on Amazon and wherever you buy books.
That's what I already ordered it, but it hasn't come in yet.
It's good. There's great drink recipes in it. Like there's all sorts of fun stuff.
It is. I saw one that was like vodka on ice with gummy worms. I'm like, I can make that.
Yeah. No, there's really easy drinks, there's hard drinks, and then there's classy drinks, and then really trashy drinks that we put in there for if you're in a dorm room or like, at least of age to drink, but like, you don't have much money or anything. There's some stuff that you can put together, or drinks, really great drinks that you can put together with stuff in your pantry and that kind of thing.
Perfect. I love that.
Yummy.
Where can people find you, Mac?
People can find me anywhere. If you search Mac Does It, where can people find you, Mike?
People can find me anywhere if you search at MikeMGTV, and be sure to follow us for the podcast info on everything, basically,
Everything.
at
At
MessyPod.
MessyPod.
And send in your awkward hookup stories or any kind of like gay agenda inspirations to at messypod@gmail.com.
Good luck to those two lesbians.
Watch it be a recreation on a Hallmark movie coming next year for the holidays. And you
have just been douched. Did we do that the last time? We didn't do that last episode.
Welcome to Messy.
Oh, okay.
Messy. Messy. Messy.